185 pounds. I love the weight class. More proud moments of my own career is at 185 pounds. I follow the class very closely. And that might be a strange thing. You'll be able to relate to this. Whatever high school you went to, like you check the scores during football season, even if you went there 20 years ago, and then you like it when they're beating other teams. Can you relate something like that? Maybe a college that you went to, nobody there knows you exist. None of your professors are there, but you donate what you can each year, $20, $30, something along these lines. You like to see them do well. Can you relate on any level? Because it's kind of what I have at 185. That's not my crew. That's not my crop. You might not even think of me that way, but I still like to see it do well. Is that fair? Adesanya versus Pereira seems to be the fight to make. And it seems to be the fight that they are expected to make. It seems to be expected, and we have evidence of that, by trying to get Paulo Costa and Robert Whittaker together, right? Whether that happened or not, I don't think you got to remind me of that story, but we tried to. Try to take those pieces right off the board. Sean Strickland's in a rebuilding phase. Duplessis certainly on his way up. Cannonier going to have something meaningful to do, but not with one of those guys right now. It would seem as though we redo Adesanya and Alex Pereira. I think that you guys would really enjoy that match. But are we a little naive to act as though that's a foregone conclusion? What rematches have we seen in the past that were immediate? Oh, and by the way, were not announced immediately. And those examples certainly do exist, but there's usually a crying out of support from somebody. And you've got a few arms. You've got the opponent, in this case, Izzy. You have the champion, in this case, Alex. You have the fans, in this case, you. You have the pundits, in this case, well, for this room, me. But none of us have done that. None of us are demanding that fight. None of us are calling that for that fight. Now, we don't have another suggestion. We're not saying, I really think that Izzy should do this instead. We're not saying, I think Alex and this guy is the match to make. We're not doing that, which still makes everybody available. And the probable bet, if you were to place one, would be that we rematch that. But are we going to do that for sure? No. If it was for sure, it would have already been announced. They'd be fighting in March. There'd be some kind of discussion had. I mean, I'll use a more recent example for you guys, but Kamaru Usman and Leon. And that really was same. It really was. Somebody from your past. It was a long time ago. Get them out there. Most people don't know that it's a rematch. One-sided fight. Shot heard around the world in the last round. The unbeatable champion who was lapping the division. I mean, it's the same thing. And we knew that Kamaru Usman was going to be fighting Leon instantly. Instantly. Like that night. And whether that's literal or not, it was like that night. It might have been. It might have been the post-fight press conference, but it was right away. And Kamaru also made that clear. Came out and spoke on that. Pinned Leon down. Got Leon to say yeah. Leon's looked in a couple of other directions. 3-piece and a soda, but he's never rejected his offer to give Kamaru that rematch. And that's just not what we're seeing here. As a matter of fact, Pereira went on Ariel's program and said, I do not want to fight Izzy next. And Pierre was cool about it because he said, if Izzy says he wants it, I will do it. I will give him that. This is my enemy. He's a guy from my past, but there's still an honor. And if he says he wants it, I will defend against him. But I don't know how much Izzy's come out and said that. Izzy, if anybody's ever taken the high road, if anybody showed us that a sport of this fierce of combat can also have a gentleman and a sportsman, it's Adesanya. So what do you think? Are they going to go rematch that fight? Because if they're not, then who are they going to put in there? We don't even know if Paulo Costa, right at this point in time, we don't even know if he's coming back, and he's meaningful. I believe Paulo Costa would be the favorite against Pereira. And you guys might change your mind, like that line might move, but you see my point. Like, he definitely could go into title fight contention. And now you've got Pereira out there. One of the last pieces of news Pereira did was to say that he would fight Chimaev. Do you guys even remember this? This came and this left, because he said, I'll fight him. I'm not putting my belt up, but only because I'm not cutting down. You want to fight? Let's fight at 205. You're not a 205 fighter, but I don't fight there either. Let's both go up, and I will fight you just for a grudge. Okay, great. I get where they're not going to do that, but you do get the point that that's the last person that Pierre has talked about. Oh, by the way, Chimaev is also one of the people who matters and doesn't have a full dance card. I'm most definitely not predicting for you guys. I think we're going to see Pereira versus Chimaev, but I'm not willing to concede to you guys that it's going to be Adesanya versus Pereira. And if you meet me there, if you meet me halfway, and you realize there's been opportunities, if they're going to rematch that fight, why have we not announced the rematch? We haven't announced it because we're not quite sold that we're going to do the rematch. So if not Izzy, who?